Hey, what's going on there, everybody? It's March 24th. It's a Wednesday. That's right, and there's hockey. We have 5 hockey games to talk about in the NHL algorithm. We'll talk a little bit about yesterday as well. Pick of the day that I said while making spaghetti last night, the over in the Arizona game. It happened. They put up like 9 goals. We'll talk about that in a minute, but let's talk about the games today and give you guys a pick of the day. I did look a little into the NHL algorithm this morning because I still can't bet. I'm in California, but if I were to bet, let's talk about what I would do. So we've got earlier games and then later games spread out over 5-hour start times here. Earlier in the day, almost none of these goalies are confirmed except for this new guy on Buffalo. I'm going to talk about this Buffalo game. My eyes are being drawn to this Buffalo game for many reasons, betting. One, we have confirmed goalies. 2, look at how bad Buffalo is. I mean, this is 0 wins in the last 15 days, and that looks like 1 win in the last 30, right? Not winning games for months is just disastrous. Now, Pittsburgh has decent goaltending and is playing better and probably is going to want to win this game. So the projected score ends up being 5-1 that Pittsburgh is going to blow through here, right? Let's double check Dustin Tokarski's goalie stats just to see what type of goalie he is in whatever he's played. Because keep in mind, he's just going to be a shooting gallery defender. He's like a shooter tutor essentially because Buffalo's not really trying. He's got an 89% save percentage. He's played 4 goals against in the 1 game he played. And he had 33. He's going to get a ton of shots, right? He took 37 shots. So he's probably okay, but he's just on a team where what can you do with Buffalo right now? So appropriately, the line is minus 270. Now, you start getting into trouble when you start to try to take a team minus a couple goals, but why don't we discuss what type of outcomes can happen in a game like this, where it's supposed to be so one-sided? And it's either, this is the most logical outcome is it ends up being like a 5-1, 5-2 game for Pittsburgh because they just overpower with offense because Buffalo, can't defend, right? But the other option is that, hey, Buffalo lets hog wild and actually gets some lucky goals early, and this ends up being a really high-scoring game that Pittsburgh probably wins. It's almost never a super low-scoring game of 1-0 because Buffalo just doesn't know how to play that. It's probably not going to be that. That's the only way Buffalo really wins it. So you can take Pittsburgh on the money line in a big parlay just because they're probably going to win. But I would say a better bet money-wise is that Pittsburgh puts up over like 3 goals or something like that. Like if you see what a Pittsburgh team over 3 or over 3.5 is, might even be even money at over 3.5. And if that's the case, you got a lot of chances to win that based on this scenario. So it's almost better than taking the minus 270. So that's kind of like a pick of the day. It's Pittsburgh's team goals over 3.5 because I think that's about even money. So think about that. Let's look at other games here. Calgary and Ottawa. Philip Gustafson going again. And I think I had bad goalie stats on him last time, but he won. I think Ottawa won last time with him. You can see that Markstrom playing, Calgary at least winning half of their games in the last 15. So they probably do overpower Ottawa. We'll just listen to the algorithm there. The line's not great, though. It's not an optimal game to bet. It's tough. Anaheim and Minnesota. Another miserable team in Anaheim right here. Right? Terrible, terrible team. You've got Cam Talbot playing on Minnesota. A Minnesota team that, look at them winning 63% of the games. They're set to make the playoffs, I would imagine. And the goalie streak's not great here because it's Cam Talbot versus Ryan Miller. But, wow, they're minus 250. Jeez. Wow. Tough line. We talked about Pittsburgh, Buffalo, where I like Buffalo's goals, team goals, over 3.5. Winnipeg and Vancouver. Here, okay, look at Winnipeg only winning 38% of the games in the last 15 days. That's a significant drop. I noticed something was going on with Winnipeg. I know they had a series with Edmonton, which didn't wear well on them. Here you have Thatcher Demko, who's got a decent goalie rating, but this is still a pretty drastic. For this line and this, I mean, it does say take Winnipeg, so probably take Winnipeg. LA and San Jose, wow, really close, really close. Could go either way. It's actually a conflict when looking at the adjusted power versus the projected score. One thinks LA is going to win, one thinks San Jose is going to win. Look at how bad. I don't know. What do you do with these bad team games? You take somebody plus 1.5 or something? I don't know. Anyway, I'll stick with my Pittsburgh over 3.5 goals as my pick of the day here. Let's talk about yesterday real quick. So yesterday, I paid a little bit more attention to this yesterday and did the video late, and it went 2 and 3. So wins and losses didn't do great, but I mean, like I had a pick of the day of an over in this game, and there was 9 goals in this game. Look at this. See, it ended up being Arizona overpowering Jonas Johansson, a not good goaltender, more than the algorithm thought, but it still knew there were going to be lots of goals. And that, even though it was kind of the only game left as I was doing the video, it still made a lot of sense. Tampa Bay doesn't cover here, right? So this ends up being that low-scoring game where Tampa Bay doesn't get there, and it doesn't work out right. Here, you knew these two awful teams weren't going to really result in a lot of goals, so that should have been a smarter under in this game, actually, had we thought a little bit deeper about that. This is a tough break. Florida doesn't come back and win. You can see that we needed them to just get another goal and then win it overtime. They couldn't do it. And same thing with Philly coming back and not winning. So a lot of close calls, but I like some of the logic. So let's go back to today for a second. And within that, I don't really care about confirmed goalies at this point. Let's look at something. I want to do the subtotals with the points so we can talk about over-unders. Because I'm coming around on over-unders as a way of when certain factors line up, an over-under pick is actually a really good pick sometimes because of the even money factor to it almost. Now, we're looking at projected goals. You can see it likes a lot of goals here. It likes a lot of goals here. It likes fewer goals here. Doesn't think a lot of goals in Winnipeg, Vancouver. What are the over-unders in these games? Winnipeg, Vancouver game, you could get at -6 or 6.5. So there's one where the algorithm seems to do this and thinking that good goaltending in Winnipeg games results in lower goals. And I don't know how often it's been playing out and working, but I've seen that out of the algorithm for some reason. It thinks that there's good Winnipeg, Vancouver, Winnipeg, Edmonton. Winnipeg, even Toronto, it just had lower scoring goals. It was weird. All right, so here, don't know. So it says under 6.5 in this game. And then the overs, the fun overs, why does it like 6.8? So it's really this game here. It says Calgary-Ottawa because Philip Gustafson is so low rated and Ottawa still somehow put up a couple because they're kind of creative, that's the over. What's the over set at in that game? 6 or 6.5, which is not good. So it's a tougher call. 5.9 because Minnesota overpowers Ryan Miller. These goalies are not good here. I think that's a sneaky over in Anaheim, Minnesota. What's it set at? Yep, 5.5. I like this one better. So I like it because Talbot's not good. And Minnesota has some strength with scoring, it seems like. So this game seems like it goes over 5.5. You have a better shot at hitting over 5.5 here than the over 6.5 here because this could be one of those defensive Ottawa games somehow with Gustafson and you get no goals. So I like this. I like this as the over better. I don't like the over in the Pittsburgh-Buffalo game just in case Tokarski has a really good game. Then my Pittsburgh over doesn't win, too. So I'm talking out both sides of my mouth here. Is it possible for Buffalo to play a defensive game? I don't think so. I mean, if you've got money against Buffalo playing defense and not, if you have money against Buffalo however I want to word that, if you have money where Buffalo lets in a lot of goals, you got money in the right place. That's what I'm trying to say. I think you understand that. All right, so that's about it. Whatever, long hockey video, but I did want to go through a deep dive because we are getting deeper into the season, and I don't know, I'm just seeing things in here that are certainly yielding actionable intelligence, and that's why we share. So good luck, everybody. If you want to subscribe, you can get the daily email and get this when I don't do videos on it every day, and follow along and hopefully bet in your legal state. I'll be in a legal state of betting this weekend, I think, and then there will be baseball and gosh, a bunch of other things and payroll and taxes, and it just never ends. So good luck, everybody. May all your picks be winning.